Okay, so first we're going to look at forming and solving equations, and we're going to look at question 14 and 15 today, right? So, Anne is 5 years older than Mary. If the sum of their ages is 51, find the age of each. Okay, so you need to go back and you need to look at what's happening there. So Anne is 5 years older than Mary. So we'll start off by saying Anne is 5 years older than Mary. So if Anne is 5 years older than Mary, then Mary is going to be X years old, and Anne will be X plus 5. If the sum of their ages is 51, so we know that sum means add. So if sum means add, when we add their two ages together, we'll get an answer of 51. So from that, we should be able to collect our like terms. So our x and our plus x will go together to give us 2x. Plus 5 will equal 51. So we form the equation. Now we need to solve it. Okay, so to solve that equation, we're going to take our numbers to the right hand side. So they're going to come over here so that our x's are by themselves. So we've got 2x equals 51, and obviously if I bring that 5 across, it'll be a negative 5. Okay, so 2x will be equal to 46. So 1x, in this case I'm going to have to divide both sides by 2. So if I want to divide both sides by 2, I'll get x equals 23. And again, you can see there what we did was we divided this side by 2 to get 1x. So we had to divide this side by 2 to find out what the equivalent equation will be, right? Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, so we'll look at question 15. We're not finished that question yet, so we're just going to finish that off. So we know that x is equal to 23. So that's one of the ages. So my answer for this question will be, the answer will be that one of them is equal to 23, and the other one will be 23 plus 5, which is 28. Okay, and that is that. Okay, I could even bring that down there. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to look at question 15 next, right? So question 15, it says, write and solve the equation to find the value of n. Use this to find the missing number. Part I has been started for you. Okay, so what they're saying there is if I add the two of them, it gives me this. If I add the two of them, it gives me this. If I add the two of them, it gives me 32. So they formed an equation there by saying that this plus this is equal to this. This plus this is equal to this. So obviously if I add the two of them, I get this. So 12 plus n, 12 plus n, plus 8 plus n, plus 8 plus n equals 32. So I'm going to finish that one out. So I'll start by just writing it out. So 12 plus n plus 8 plus n is equal to 32. I can see there that I've got n's, which I'm going to pull together, so that will be 2n. And I've got numbers, so if I pull those numbers together, 12 and 8 gives me plus 20 is equal to 32. Now, it's important that you realize here that some people would tidy that up like I've done here and then bring the 20 over. More people would bring both those terms over and do all your calculations this side. I think it's always easier to tidy up what you have first, and then move your terms. Okay, so in this case, that will end up being 2n equals 32, and I'm obviously going to bring this across. So if I bring the 20 across, it'll be minus 20. So that will give me 2n equals 12. So 1n will be equal to 6. And the reason why there is because we're dividing both sides by 6. Or dividing both sides by 2 even. Okay. So for the next one, we have to form the equation. So you can look at what you did with the last one and try and see how that worked. but you should be able to spot there what's actually happening is we're going to fill in this box here. Okay, so we fill in the middle box there. And how we fill that in is we add these two. So if we add those two, we should get this middle box. And in this case, that middle box will be equal to 16 plus n. So I'm going to put in 16 plus n into that box. And if we look at this box, this will be 20 plus n. Okay, so that will be 20 plus n. And we'll just write it as 20 plus n. You could write it as n plus 20, but the last one, they put the numbers first, so we'll do the same. 20 plus n. Okay. So from that, we should be able to form the equation, which we're going to do next. And how we'll form the equation is we'll add our first box plus our second box equals 60. Okay. So 16 plus n. So 16 plus n, 16 plus n plus 20 plus n is equal to 60. Again, tidy it up, put your ends together, and you'll get two ends. Put your numbers together, and you'll get 16 plus 20, which will give you plus 36, is equal to 60. So obviously you want to find the value for n. So to find the value for n, you need to bring all of your numbers to one side. So I'm going to bring the numbers across here over to this side. Obviously when I move them, they change signs. They go from a positive to a negative in this case. So 2n will be equal to 60, and obviously I'm taking away 36 this time. So 2n will be equal to 60, take 36, leaves you a 24. And to find out what 1n is equal to, we do the same thing as we did the last time, and we divide both sides by 2. If we divide 24 by 2, we get an answer of 12. We'll just have a look there at the last one and we'll get that done. So with the last one, it's the same as the previous one, you could say. So we'll fill in this box here and we'll say 19 plus n. So this is 19 plus n. And this one here is 31 plus n. Okay. So we know how to start it. So we'll just fill it in. So we're going to add all our terms. So 19 plus n plus 31 plus n will be equal to 96. We're going to collect our like terms again. So the n's go together. So we'll have 2n. The numbers go together. So if I have 19 and I add 31, that'll give me 50. So plus 50 will be equal to 96. So I need to tidy that up and get all my numbers by themselves and all my letters by themselves. So I'm going to bring all my numbers across to the right hand side. So I'll end up there with 2n equals 96, and obviously if it's moving across, it'll turn into a minus 50. So 2n will be equal to 46, so 1n will be equal to 23. Again, in this case, I'm dividing by 2 because 2n, if I want to turn 2n into 1n, I have to divide by 2. Okay, so that's forming equations and solving equations, okay? So I'll just highlight the answers there for them just so that they're obvious, but I think they are fairly obvious as it is, right? So the first one, the second one, and the third one. Right, so we'll look at this one next. It's another forming and solving equations. So in each of these problems, the angle facts. In each of these problems, use the angle facts to form an equation. Solve it to find the unknown. The angles are measured in degrees. Okay. Now we haven't done much with angles, but what we do know, or what you may know from primary school, is that a circle is made up of 360 degrees. Okay. So a circle is made up of 360 degrees, and I'll just show you that there. So a circle, that's a bad circle. We'll try this one. So a circle is made up of 360 degrees. So that means when you start from here, we'll say. So when you start from here, if you were to measure the whole way around here, it will give you 360 degrees. Okay. Now, this is all new to you. Well, not all new, but it'll be new to some of you, but that's fine. But I just want you to understand how this all works, right? So if a circle is made up of 360 degrees, then you need to be able to tell me what half a circle is equal to. So half a circle will be the top half there. So half a circle will be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so these two questions here, part 1 and part 2, the angles, when we add up all of this here, it should equal half a circle, because this here represents half a circle, which is 180 degrees. Okay, and here, obviously from there, the whole way across is 180 degrees. Another way of looking at that is, you all know what a right angle triangle, or what a right angle is. A right angle is like this. So that's 90 degrees. If you've got two right angles side by side, you'll have 90 plus 90. So you know that from here to here will be 180. Okay. So all of that is important. And what they want you to do now is they want you to form equations using what you know about angles. Okay, so in order to form the equation here, we know that if we add this, this, and this, it should equal 180 degrees, okay? Because everything that we've done at this side shows us that from here across to here is 180 degrees. 180 degrees and 180 degrees, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add these to show that they're equal to 180 degrees. So x plus, I'll do this in pink, x minus 4 plus 2x will be equal to 180 degrees. Now, the reason why I put them in different colors is just so that you don't make mistakes with signs or anything like that. And what I want to show you is that you're adding this term, you're adding this term, and you're adding this term. Okay? So, when we look at that, we can start by collecting all of our x's. So, x plus 2x. So that gives us a total there of 5x. So, x plus 2x is 4x. So just put in our 4x there. We still have the minus 4, and it's equal to 180. So we need to isolate the 4x. So to get the 4x by itself, we need to bring across this negative 4, and this negative 4 is just going to go over here. And when we bring it across, it'll turn into a positive 4. So we'll still have our equals. We'll still have 180, and we're just going to add 4 to this side. So that leaves us with 4x equals 184. So in order to find out what 1x is equal to, we need to divide both sides by 4. And if we divide the left hand side by 4, we'll get 1x. But if we divide the right hand side by 4, we will get 46. And that's degrees. So we just put in a degree sign there. Okay, so once we get our answer there, which is 46, we can go back and verify that answer. So we can go back and check that the answer is definitely correct. And how we do that is very simple. We just sub that value back into the original. So if we look at the original, this here would be equal to 46. So I'm just going to put in my 46 here. So 46 degrees. This one here would be 46 minus 4. So that would be 42. And this one here would be 2 times 46. And 2 times 46 is 46 multiplied by 2, 92. So what we can do now is we can add them together. So we're just going to take each of them there. So we're going to take our 46, our 42, and our 92. And if we add them together, we should get an answer of 180. So let's just check if we do. 46 plus 42 plus 92. And sure enough, that gives you an answer of 180 degrees. So we know that our answer there is correct. Okay, so the second part of that question there is very similar. With the second part of that question, there's just expanding and there's extra bits that we need to add in. So I'm just going to do it again like we did the last time. So I'm just going to put it in different colors. So we're going to take the first term there, and the first one there is x plus 1. So I'm going to put in the x plus 1. So x plus 1. I'm going to add to that. So I'm going to add to that the second angle, which is 3 times 1 plus x. 3 times 1 plus x. And we know that 3 times 1 plus x, I'm just going to zoom in on that for a sec for you. So if we want to keep this simple, 3 times 1, okay, so 3 times 1 gives you 3. 3 times plus x gives you plus 3x. So just to keep things organized, we'll put in 3 plus 3x there. So you can see that this here is the same as this, so I'm adding that in here. Similarly, just to keep things neat and tidy, what we'll do is we'll expand that one there, and when we expand that one there, I'll just show you what we get. So when we expand that one there, we'll get 2x minus 10. Because 2 times x is 2x, 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. Just make sure you see that minus sign there. So that'll be 2x minus 10. So we're going to add to that 2x minus 10. And that will give us a total of 180 degrees. Okay, so that's the equation formed. Now we need to collect the like terms and solve the equation. So to collect the like terms, we'll start off with the x's. We'll be adding x, we'll be adding 3x, we'll be adding 2x, and that will be all of our x's together. So x plus 3x is 4x, 4x plus 2x is 6x. So we've got 6 x's. We now need to add our numbers, so I'm going to add the numbers and I'll highlight them in green. So we've got plus 1, plus 3, so far that's 4, isn't it? I'll actually use a different colour because the green is very similar to the white. So I'll add them in pink. So if we add 1 and 3, that will give us 4. 4 take away 10. So we need to think about that. 4 take away 10. If you had €4 on the bank and you borrowed 10, you took out 10, you'd owe the bank €6. So in this case, we've got minus 6. And that's equal to 180. So just be very, very careful with this question because there's a lot of different terms, there's a lot of adding, there's a lot of pulling terms together. Just do it step by step, right? So that brings us to the next part. The next part's very straightforward because we've done all these before. So I'm going to take the negative 6 and bring it across. And when I bring it across, it turns into a positive 6. So I'll have 6x equals 180. And I'm going to add 6 to both, or to this side. Because it's coming across, it turns into a positive 6. So that gives me that 6x is equal to 186. So in order to find out what 1x is equal to, 186 divided by 6 will give me my answer. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So if I divide the left-hand side by 6, I'll get x. But I have to make sure I divide the right-hand side by 6. And when I divide it by 6, I get 31. You could go back and verify that if you wanted to. So I'll just quickly go back and verify it. So if you look at the drawing they gave us to begin with, we said that this was equal to 31 plus 1. So 31 plus 1 So that's going to be 32. Okay, so I'll highlight that, 32. This one here was going to be 3 times 1 plus 31. So 1 plus 31 is 32. 32 multiplied by 3 gives you 96. So that would be 96. And the last one here is 2 times 31 minus 5. So 31 take away 5 gives you 26. And 26 times 2 gives you 52. So just to make sure our answer is correct, when we add them together, which we'll do next, so we'll just add them together over here. So 32 plus 96 plus 52, and that will give us plus 96 plus 32, 108.